Annie Grace, The Alcohol Experiment, Expanded Edition, a 30-day, alcohol-free challenge to interrupt your habits and help you take control. Embark on a transformative journey with The Alcohol Experiment, Expanded Edition by Annie Grace. This book summary helps you confront cognitive dissonance, the inner conflict between conscious and unconscious desires that makes quitting alcohol challenging. Discover how reevaluating your beliefs about alcohol can help you break free from the cycle of drinking. The summary delves into the real reasons behind drinking, the chemical reactions that drive continued consumption, and the false belief that alcohol can help you relax. Learn how meaningful connections and an alcohol-free life can be achieved by understanding and undoing deep-rooted beliefs that keep you chained to alcohol.
Tackling cognitive dissonance for quitting drinking. Cognitive dissonance can influence our desires and emotions, making it hard to quit alcohol. Many people rely on willpower, but this is not a long-term solution. The key is reassessing our beliefs about booze to shut down our unconscious desire for a drink. Picture yourself sticking to a diet but giving in to a plate of delicious homemade cookies. This is an instance of cognitive dissonance, where the conscious and unconscious parts of your brain conflict. You know you should stay away, but your unconscious mind urges you to have a cookie. The same thing happens with alcohol. You may recognize the negative impacts it has on your health and finances, but your unconscious mind tells you that alcohol helps you relax. Therefore, quitting drinking can be a struggle. Stopping drinking through sheer willpower is not a sustainable solution, just as it wasn't for resisting the cookies mentioned before. Willpower is limited, and if we use it for one thing, we'll have less of it left for other activities. However, by reassessing our beliefs about the role of alcohol in our lives, we can overcome our unconscious desires. The key is to identify the beliefs that drive our behavior and question their validity. For instance, we may believe that alcohol is necessary for socializing or that it helps relieve stress. Once we examine these beliefs, we're more likely to see that they're not accurate or helpful. With this shift in mindset, our unconscious mind won't urge us to drink, making it easier to quit or reduce our alcohol intake. In summary, cognitive dissonance can make quitting alcohol a challenge. Relying on willpower is not a lasting solution. By reassessing our beliefs about booze, we can confront our unconscious desires and overcome them. The truth behind why we drink. Our belief about the taste of alcohol may not be entirely accurate. We may not drink for taste alone, and a simple technique called ACT can help us reassess our drinking habits. Do you drink alcohol for its taste alone? The author suggests that many of us may not be entirely truthful with ourselves about why we drink. Using the example of her brother's goat farm, she explains that exposure to a particular smell can make it unnoticeable over time. This phenomenon of acquiring a taste also applies to alcohol. The author proposes a technique called ACT or ACT to help readers reassess their beliefs about the taste of alcohol. The first step is to be aware of your belief. Say out loud the reason why you believe you drink alcohol. Is it because it tastes good? The second step involves gaining clarity about whether this belief is true or not. The author encourages readers to reflect on the first time they tasted alcohol and ask themselves if they honestly enjoyed the taste. Despite our initial aversion to the taste of alcohol, our brains can eventually make it easier to process and even acquire the taste. The final step in ACT is turning our belief around. If not for the taste, why do we drink? The author invites readers to consider their truth when it comes to drinking alcohol. Is it for the taste, or are there other factors at play? In conclusion, the author challenges readers to rethink their reasons for drinking alcohol. Acquiring a taste for it may not be the sole reason why we drink. By using the ACT technique, we can gain a better understanding of our drinking habits and make more informed choices. The science behind alcohol's pleasure and pain. Have you ever wondered why you feel the need to keep drinking after the first sip? It's because of the chemicals in alcohol that make you feel good, and then bad. The initial feeling of pleasure takes place in your brain's pleasure center, which releases dopamine, making you crave more. Your brain also releases dynorphin to rebalance the artificial stimulation, which suppresses your euphoric feeling, so you end up feeling worse than before. It's a cycle of chasing that first glass's sensation. But alcohol does more than numb your senses and slow down your brain, it also affects your long-term decision-making, which leads to irrational actions. Once you acknowledge that the pleasure you get from alcohol is just a chemical reaction, you can start to understand your drinking behavior. Alcohol as a source of stress. Many of us drink to relax or handle stress, but the reality is that alcohol only brings more stress into our lives. While it may temporarily mute stress, it is important to address the source of tension to achieve true relaxation. Alcohol is a depressant and leads to increased levels of stress hormones in our bodies, leaving us with elevated stress levels for up to a week. By thinking carefully about our relationship with alcohol, we can determine if it is creating more stress than it is relieving. Authentic connection sans alcohol. The importance of meaningful human connection without alcohol and how to approach an alcohol-free life when faced with unsupportive friends. Are you considering taking a break from alcohol but concerned about how your friends will react? Don't worry, it's normal to have apprehensions. When you go alcohol-free, your friends may urge you to lighten up and have just one drink with them. However, it's crucial to recognize that fear is probably driving their response. Maybe deep down, they know they're drinking too much and don't want to admit it. Or they might be scared of losing your company. Instead of making a big deal out of your decision, take things easy and keep things light. Say something like, "I drank so much last month, it'll last me for the next 30 days. I'm on a timeout," and avoid getting involved in lengthy discussions. It may be awkward in the short term, but in the long run, there's a high chance of a positive outcome. The key message here is that authentic human connections happen without alcohol. Deep and meaningful discussions are challenging when you or your friends are drinking. You can't be fully present, and your speech may get slurred, making communication difficult. Alcohol slows down the firing of neurons in your brain, making it hard to connect with others properly. When you go alcohol-free, you're likely to face certain challenges. Friends may refuse to meet up because they don't think it would be fun without drinks, but there are ways to bring them around. By persuading them to come over and keeping it light, you can show them that an alcohol-free life doesn't have to be dull. The deep and meaningful talk that follows may end up being one of the best moments of your friendship. In summary, an alcohol-free life offers numerous benefits. It is essential, however, to understand that it won't be easy, and you may face some challenges, including unsupportive or skeptical friends. But with a relaxed and humorous approach to your situation, you can show your friends that you can still have fun without alcohol and develop closer, more authentic relationships in the process. The journey to an alcohol-free life. Conquer alcohol addiction one day at a time. Starting an alcohol-free life can be daunting, the fear of never drinking again can be overwhelming. This is where a 30-day alcohol-free challenge comes in. 30 days aren't forever, and completing it gains you momentum to strive for a lifetime without alcohol controlling your life. The author's friend started with the challenge and went on for a year without drinking. This achievement indicates the power of conditioning oneself one day at a time. Quitting drinking does not mean expecting perfection, it's about celebrating progress. Corporate growth celebrates minor progress and milestones, and so should recovering alcoholics. Celebrating success can be a motivational factor to continue taking on the challenge. Establishing non-negotiables can keep you on the right path, knowing what you can't do without consequences. To turn around the deeply ingrained beliefs about drinking is important, and it's a gradual process. First, think critically about why you drink, what it means to you, and how it affects your life, health, and relationships. Retraining the brain to adopt an alcohol-free lifestyle is possible, one day at a time.
As you conclude your journey through The Alcohol Experiment, Expanded Edition, it's time to reflect on the significant insights about alcohol consumption and its effect on your life. Recognize the cognitive dissonance you might experience when trying to quit drinking and understand the chemical and societal factors that contribute to this struggle. Take a step back and examine your beliefs about alcohol, its taste, and its perceived benefits. Question whether alcohol actually relaxes you, or if it merely creates more stress in your life. Embrace true, meaningful human connections that only arise without alcohol, and learn to celebrate your progress in overcoming alcohol dependency instead of demanding perfection. By actively reprogramming your beliefs and implementing non-negotiables, you can slowly build an alcohol-free life, one day at a time.